Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. We are out here in nature. We got the birds out. Shout out to all the deep divers, people who have been diving deep for years. Happy holidays. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. How to stop repressing your feelings now? Is that you out there? Always repressing feelings? So there is repression and there is suppression. Suppression is when you are consciously doing it. Let's just say you're angry, but you're like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. It's okay to be angry, right? That's suppression. Repression is, these are feelings you are not even aware of, right? That you have buried. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? We got a lot to talk about. So let me share with you what's helped me along my journey. You see, growing up, a lot of us, we go through so many experiences, and throughout our life, we just totally forget that these experiences have actually shaped a bit of who we are. So some are really positive and some are pretty negative. And a lot of the negative experience we have in early childhood, we can't process it consciously a lot of the times. So we just repress it, right? And then later on in life, it starts to resurface. So let me share with you some simple steps to stop repressing the hell out of your feelings, right? Let's start with this. You have, I'm going to give you the classic repression cases, right? You have a lot to lose. Is that you out there? Put your hand up. Do you feel like you have so much to lose? That's classic repression right there. Now, what could have happened is that maybe even in your teens, right? In your 20s, who knows, whatever age, right? Something happened to you. Maybe you had an experience which was like, okay, I am forming this ego right now. I'm actually a human being. I'm a person. And I can't do that. I have a lot to lose, right? So we actually bury and repress these feelings, right? So I talk about a whole range, a plethora of different information. And I learned that to stop repressing feelings, I had to let go and say, actually, I have to have the mindset like I don't have anything to lose, because really and truly we don't. Once you start talking your heart and mind, people will love you for the real you. Slow motion this side. Right? Something could have happened like you really wanted to talk your heart. You really wanted to talk your heart and mind. And then you were like, actually, I can't do this, right? I have to be one way, right? So realize you don't, right? And the only person really judging you is you. To be honest, I won't judge you. Neither will the cat down the road. Let's talk about another step. Another classic case of people who repress their feelings a lot are those who say putting down, right? They don't want to put anyone down. They don't want to let anyone down. Let's say it like that. They don't want to let anyone down, right? Because let's just say maybe in your childhood, you always wanted to get good grades. You didn't want to let anyone down, right? And this is carried in our normal day-to-day life. We still don't want to let anyone down, right? Are you one of those people that keep like apologizing for every small thing? And that's fine, because you should be sorry. But a lot of us, we have these repressed feelings because we are trying to be 100% perfect all the time. I'm no saint, right? And it happens a lot of the time. We repress these feelings when we are trying to be super righteous, holier than thou. It might backfire, right? I always say I'm not perfect. I'm work in progress. And that's what's helped me to stop repressing feelings. To say it's okay to be human, right? It's okay to feel emotion. It's okay to feel something, right? And realize you're not putting other people down when you are being yourself. Let's talk about another step. People who are constantly guilty. Is that you out there? You're always guilty for what happened, right? A lot of the times that's how we start repressing a lot of our feelings, because guilt is something which in itself is a bottled up emotion. Slow motion inside. When you are guilty about something, what happens? You start to get all tense and tight, right? So already that's repression right there, right? A lot of us, we're so guilty about stuff we've done, okay? And we're ashamed, right? When you are ashamed of something, many times you don't want to think about it, right? You don't want to think about it. So we have so many unresolved issues to tackle. And what's helped me is to say, okay, if I'm guilty about something, I've got to be brave enough to take a look at whatever I'm guilty about. I can't keep running away from it, right? So people who are repressed don't want to look back because they say, let go of the past. No, I'm challenging you today to look at the past, to say, okay, what is it I'm so ashamed about? What is it I'm guilty about? Why am I running away from my past? And that will help you stop repressing your feelings today. Let's talk about another step. 7-day vegan challenge. A lot of people stuffing strawberries in their face, in their mouth. You can put them on your face. A lot of people are doing that too. It's the holiday season. I don't blame you, right? What happens when the words you use, right, you're not sure about? Many people are not impeccable with their words. So they are repressing their feelings because maybe growing up, someone said, do you want to do this? Do you want to go to Whole Foods? And you are like, no. No? You actually meant yes, right? Certain times we confuse yes and no. We say no when we want to say yes, and we say yes when we want to say no, and we say not sure, right? When we want to say actually no. I've realized that when we talk of being clear, crystal clear with your words, I say, I am healthier than ever, right? That's a clear statement which I'm proud of. I'm proud I'm a vegan of over 12 years. That's a clear statement I'm proud of. I'm not repressing my feelings right now. I am seeing the difference from when I used to eat a lot of meat and dairy to what I'm eating right now. If you're not sure about what you're eating and if it's doing any good for you, a lot of the times this is how repression starts. When you are sometimes very unsure, oh, I don't know if these tomatoes are doing any good for me. I don't know. Do you want to go out? I don't know. Same thing. How many times has someone asked you to do something? Oh, do you want to come for a meal with us? And you're like, I'm not sure. When I started to become very sure of who I was through the foods I was eating, to say, okay, I'm eating a plant-based diet right now and it feels great, I started to become more impeccable, more clear, right, with my words in all areas of my life. So when people phone me and say, Ralph, do you want to go out to Whole Foods? Yes, of course I do. Right? Little example for you. We're talking about accepting yourself. That's another step, right? Once you accept yourself 100%, you are learning to stop repressing your feelings, right? A lot of us, we don't accept ourselves. Therefore, we actually repress our feelings. There are no mistakes, right? I will tell you outright that you want to make more mistakes. Many times we don't want to look back. We bury emotions that need to be expressed because we are afraid of what other people think. We are afraid people will judge us. We are afraid of being seen in a certain way. I'm here to tell you today, you don't have to be afraid. I'm here to tell you today that there's a reason why a lot of psychosomatic illnesses happen and arise. Psychosomatic mind-body connection. Because people care so much what everybody thinks of them. Don't worry, that was me along my early journey. I was repressing a lot of feelings. I've got to be this way, right? Are you always trying to fit into this society, this world? That's the problem on the planet, you see. What helped me along my journey was to say, I didn't come here to fit in. I came here to stand out. Slow motion this side. If you are afraid of being a fringe dweller, someone living on the outskirts, of society, chances are you are repressing a lot of feelings. I've always known I've been a bit different from the rest of those other people around, right? I've been different and I've embraced it, right? I have accepted myself and I said to myself, look, I'm not here to live up to your expectations. And then I stopped repressing bottled up emotions, right? Unconsciously. But if you just want to fit in, right? Chances are you are in the process of creating even more repressed feelings. Every single day I do whatever I want and it feels fantastic. Let's talk about another step. Many times you have people, and I counsel so many people, thousands over the years, inspire millions of people. People who are always trying to help other people. Do you know anybody like that? Oh, that's me. Oh my gosh, I'm one of those people, right? Yeah, but I always learn how to take care of myself first because that's what I preach. That's what I say. You got to fill your own cup. It takes very strong people to go on and inspire other people. You need strength for that, right? But many times people who repress their feelings a lot are often trying to go outside of themselves at any given opportunity to help other people, to be busy so they can run away from their unresolved issues they have to face. Slow motion this side. Is that you always busy with work so you can run away from your own problems, so you can run away from taking a look at your life? That was me along my early journey. Now, I don't work a lot, actually. I have a lot of free time, so that means I have a lot of free time to work on myself and see what I have been repressing and suppressing, and that's helped me to stop repressing feelings, right? Let's talk about another step. Do you know someone who is always on the run, right? They say stuff, they write stuff, they type stuff to you, then they disappear for like a few hours and a few days and a few weeks and a few months, right? Or some people, they just do a runner, right? They dish out, but they're afraid to face what they have dished out. They can't handle it, but they can dish it out, but they can't handle getting it back sent to them in the post. Is that you today? Always doing the disappearing act? That's a great sign that many times you are repressing your feelings when you are constantly disappearing. Because many times people do that, right? even have children and then they leave, right? It all boils down to realizing that you have to face whatever it is you are creating, right? And that's what I've had to learn how to apply to my life every single day, right? I got to take responsibility for where I find myself. I've got to take responsibility for what I'm producing every single day, for who I'm interacting with. I'm not just gonna run because that shows I can't handle what I'm giving out. I gotta face my fear. Fear stands for two things. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise, right? So I always say, instead of disappearing, to stop repressing feelings, face everything and rise. Let's talk about another step. A lot of people who repress feelings often say, I'm fine. Fearful, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. I've never seen a fine person in my life, right? I'm definitely not fine. I go through a whole range of emotions, right? I'm a Pisces, right? I'm pretty calm. But a lot is going through my mind. I'm a dreamer. Whenever you trap your imagination, you are repressing your feelings. And a lot of us have a trapped imagination because we have a censor on our mind. We have told ourselves we can't think like this, we can't do this. And that was me along my early journey. I used to work a 12-hour day. And people will say, Ralph, how are you? 9 hours in. I'm fine. I'm fine. Come off it. Of course I wasn't fine. But I had to say I'm fine so people could see me like, hey, I'm doing good. No. You see, when you just say I'm fine to cover how you're really feeling, that's just a defense mechanism to keep you out of touch of your emotions. Slow motion this side. So I often tell people this, look, if you are repressing feelings or you know someone who's doing that, don't ask them, how are you? Ask them, how are you feeling? Because if you ask them, how are you, they'll just give a point blank statement, I'm fine. That's just so surface level, shallow like, right? So to really connect with people on a deeper level, you have to ask them, how are you feeling? Right? And then they'll probably say, well, I'm pretty tired. That's a lot better. That will actually help them to stop repressing their feelings. And even ask yourself, right? Am I really fine? What other words are there besides fine? Thankful. Working towards a better life. Right? Grateful, right? Could do better. Getting there. That's it. Now the emotions are pouring out. And that will help you because a lot of, once again, repressed feelings are programs stored in the subconscious mind, which are on repeat. Repressed feelings are programs in the subconscious mind, which are on repeat. So you've got to actually learn how to start reprogramming your subconscious mind. We'll come to that later. Actually, we already did a video on that. Check it out. What's another step? Now, if you need to cough, cough. What it boils down to, are you someone, now listen very closely. If I was to ask you, what do you feel about the world you're living in right now? It's amazing. It's so positive, right? Chances are you are repressing your feelings. That used to be me. A lot of the times along my early journey, I used to put a positive spin on absolutely everything. I'm trapped in an elevator. it happened for a reason for me to look at oh my gosh, there's nothing up there. To listen to the elevator music, oh, it's actually pretty boring because they're not playing bossa nova today. Terrible, right? I say I'm a realist. I realize life is beautiful and life is very ugly. It's a total contrast, right? Life is fantastic. At the same time, life is terrible. That's how I see things, in the contrast, because life is art. Great art is full of contrast. Life is the light and the dark, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you start to not sugarcoat what is really happening in the world, I've spoken about third eye, pineal gland, spirit guides. I'm diving deep into past lives. I'm giving you the real deal. Talking about the fifth dimension, right? Talking about marijuana, all kinds of stuff. I'm not just talking about singing Kumbaya under a tree. That's why this channel is reaching millions of people. We are nearly at over 1 billion minutes watched on this channel. Can we have a moment of silence? Right? So it's only because I'm diving into so many different areas. And to stop really repressing feelings, you got to go straight to the core. You got to be the rough, rugged, and raw, baby. Right? And say, actually, the world isn't just positive, because certain times, even you might be going through certain experiences and just say you're trying to think of something positive to take from it. And that's great. But at the same time, that could also be a defense mechanism for you. Could also be a defense mechanism for you to start repressing what really happened. So let's just say you were in a little accident. Someone says, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. But are you really? You could actually say, I was in a big accident and actually I bruised myself a bit and it wasn't pleasant at all. It wasn't pleasant. But I'll get through it. That's a lot more realistic. That will actually help you stop repressing your feelings, as opposed to just saying, it's all positive because it was meant to happen. No, it wasn't, right? Well, actually, maybe it was, but then talk about how you really feel. Okay, and it goes to, let's talk about the last step, which is a lot of people have this, what I call the hard shell, right? The hard glass shell at that, right? That's why a lot of people repress a lot of feelings on the planet, because we have been conditioned, many of us on this planet, to have this super hard exterior. So I was under that program for a long time. I was like, hey Ralph, you can't smile because smiling is a sign of weakness. People are gonna see you as a pushover. So I used to sometimes always just appear like this, stone face, like I'm like got this hard exterior. But check this out. The more I began to smile is the more I began to connect with millions of people, because I was connecting to them on a subconscious level, right? The harder you appear, that's like a no-no to people, right? It's actually working against you. So even though you're trying to repress, you're under that program of repressing those feelings to just be hard all the time, it's actually working against you. Men have been told in this society, you can't cry, you can't show any emotion. I counsel a lot of guys, a lot of women too. And a lot of guys say, Ralph, I just want to cry sometimes. I'm like, just cry me a river. And they do that. It's a lot of water everywhere, okay? You got to learn how to feel. Many people on the planet have become desensitized and tapped out of their emotions. And it's time to get back into your emotions. And it's time to feel again. And once you start feeling, you become very vulnerable. That's what we want. That's what I want you to be, right? I want you to be very vulnerable. I'm vulnerable all the time, and that's why I'm so powerful. The strongest people on the planet are the most vulnerable, because it takes more strength to be open than it does to be closed. Slow motion inside. So just look at it like this. To stop repressing your feelings, realize you don't have to be this super tough person. And a lot of women too have adopted the program, I have to be this super tough woman. No, you don't. Just relax, let the divine feminine flow through you. And once again, that will be working in your favor because that's so attractive. Let yourself go. Breathing in that good ass prana. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? And have a beautiful day. We're out here in nature. Happy holidays and shout out to the amazing deep divers out there. I see you. Have a beautiful day. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace. You.